welcome to another installment of the Fragments Silicon Sunday Reviews. Up this week are three reviews, the first of which is a game called Volatile Triangle. And this is another one of those games where the title actually kind of gives everything about the game away. Although I suppose it's a bit hard to see at first with the word volatile. That can go in quite a few directions. But this one's pretty literal, as you play a triangle who is unstable. Anyway, the point of the game is to go from level to level, collect these green glowy bits, and escape. And that's about it. It's a pretty simple premise. It's a pretty simple game. The so-called devil in the details is the level layout. Mind you, the levels aren't long, but they're filled with obstacles like lasers, bounce pads, anti-grav devices later on, that sort of thing. So you've got to figure out the timing of those along the way, because they will kill you if if you hit a laser, you're dead. Though if you hit a bounce pad, that can help. That can hinder you. It depends on where and how fast you hit upon it. The mechanics are pretty dead simple as well. It's you explode, and you explode with more force. That's about it. The subtle details come in more. It's using arcs and geometry to get around. Like you can't move except when you explode. And getting through the game is pretty simple. You'll die a lot, but this is one of those games where dying really doesn't matter. It's like dying is a very minimal affair, truth be told. It's like, you don't get penalized even if you're halfway through the level and you hit a laser, let's say. But as you might surmise, the ultimate mastery of a game like Volatile Triangle comes from getting the best score. And getting the best score in one of the levels is, getting all of the glowy bits and getting out in the fewest amount of moves. Usually that can be encountered in three, however many glowy bits and portal there is. Although there is actually an achievement called Better Than Perfect, which, you can actually break the scoring scale. And I managed to do that one time, because I managed to get two of the glowies in one go and then get out. Not really intending on that, but that's just how the level went. And that kind of gets down to my biggest problem with the game. That's chaos theory. For all their talk of precision and mastery and all that stuff, this is a game where everything is volatile, not just the triangle. Because a lot of where you're going to land is going to depend on where you aim the cursor. And there's it's one of those, if you move it just even a bit to the left, to the right, to the whatever, it's going to change things up pretty drastically. And my problem with this is they have no visualizer for this.
The only thing they have is a linear arrow where you're pointing your stick.
Yeah.
And I suppose if they had one, if it showed you where you were going to go, and more detail might have made the thing easier. And via the marketing materials of this game, it's priding itself on being a hardcore experience, which is interesting, because I'd honestly label this a casual game.
I'd honestly wonder if this was a mobile game at first.
I don't think I saw a mobile version, but it certainly comes across as one. I mean,
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it's got all the core hallmarks, but like it doesn't have a fucking hideously huge UI. So that's one sign that it didn't come from mobile. Yeah, and interestingly enough, this game is not on mobile, iOS or Android. Maybe at some point, because I could see this game working, to an on mobile. And honestly, once again, this is the kind of game that would probably play better on mobile. Because, I'd play a few rounds and, this is a game I definitely spent like 15 minutes on at a time and then did something else. Half an hour at most. Because, for all of their, purported investment in the game, it's a very shallow affair. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but, this is definitely, you spend a bit of time and then you go fuck off and do something else. In terms of graphics, everything's fine. Like,
do you like neon?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's very abstract. Like, it's got a particular color palette too, blue and purple, which I guess is a nice change from blue and orange. I guess this is more a teal than anything else. But
yeah, perhaps.
It's got a few bright neon colors set to against drab backgrounds. Music was pretty good, surprisingly good. Probably the best aspect of the game. Although it's got it's got a limited track selection, so you're gonna get tired of it if you play for a few hours, kind of deal. Let me see. Pricing. So the game clocks in at $199. And interestingly enough, this game is only for Windows. So again, this feels like the kind of game that should be on all of the platforms, but Windows only. Like, make of that what you will.
Actually, I think it's on Xbox as well.
There we go. Yeah. I guess that's why it works so well with the Xbox One controller.
I mean, that's still basically Windows.
Yeah. Anyway, as far as is it worth it at $199? Yeah, I'd say so. I'd give it a mild recommendation. Like, nothing about this game was amazing, but everything was functional. Like, it worked the way it's supposed to. It's just, there wasn't a lot of gameplay chops or a lot of levels. There are 96 levels in total, and you'll blow through them pretty quickly if you're just aiming to get through the game. Once again, the longevity comes from mastery, and honestly, I don't. It's just not that good of a game. We encounter this quite fairly often here. We got games that are okay, and this is one of them. Let's see. Oh, right. This game also does support a multiplayer mode. But the thing is, it's local only. So that would have required testing it through the remote play together feature. Like, it even says that you can remote play together with this game. This is not one of those games I wanted to try that with. Oh, no. Latency would absolutely kill this fucking thing.
Oh, yeah.
It would.
Yeah, it's like, I'm not even going to bother. And, just based on our experiences, maybe you'll have a better time of it. I don't know. But it's definitely something I'd recommend you have a person there for. And yeah, that's about it. Once again, it's a short, small, simple game. And completely functional and average in pretty much every regard. All right, then. So that'll about do it for Volatile Triangle. Be sure to tune in after the break, as the Galax will be delivering his Nintendo Switch review of Toy Tank. Sorry, I forgot the name here. Attack of the Toy Tanks.